Hello, I'm Brian Potts. I'm Masters of Divinity student. In my parents' basement of the house they used to live, there was this closet, and in the middle closet on the middle shelf were boxes, many boxes of photo albums. They were all labeled by year, and you would sit and you could go through these and you could see images from before I was born, images of my life, images from summers spent at a cottage or returning to school photos, and of course the group shots of everybody sitting around together at different events. But each of these images contains stories, that there's still pictures of a larger story. When you look at these images of events that have happened, my mind would go to those events and I would remember and recall being there, being present in those moments. Some of the images from my parents' time before I was born, I would remember some of the stories they would tell me about those events. There was even one image of my father holding me as a baby, dressed in a black tuxedo suit with a top hat on. I had to ask him about that one. That one was a bit confusing to me. Apparently the school he worked at the time, as my dad was a school teacher then, was celebrating the centennial year, and they were to dress as teachers did 100 years before, which is why he was wearing the top hat, and it's quite a striking image. But it was these images that I needed to utilize on my Facebook page when I started Facebook back in 11, 12 years ago. I went through those photo albums and brought up images and scanned them and posted them on my wall. I wanted to make sure that people that would look, that would be my friends on Facebook, would have some sense of who I was, of my history, the events and the stories that made me the person that I am today. The book of Hebrews is very much like that. Throughout the whole book, we go back to stories of Old Testament characters, founding fathers, people that were foundational to developing the faith. And that's what the letter of Hebrews was written for, right? It was written to people that were struggling with their faith and recalling these stories and these events that have happened inspired them to hold on to their own faith, to keep true to who they were, ancestors of faith, so to speak. Our lives today should be telling stories. We should be telling stories that inspire people, that hold people up, to catch people when they're falling. I believe that we're all good people. We all want to help. We all want to be there for others. I think that's what we're intended to do. If we can kind of have in mind as we go through our day as to what kind of story we're telling, what does the picture of that event look like in the photo album? Are we telling a good story? Are we leaving an image that will be remembered, that will carry on, that will inspire other people, that will bring people closer? Sheep need shepherds because they often wander off course. They start nibbling at a bit of grass and the next one, and they get lost and they forget where they're supposed to be. I think a part of what we are supposed to do here are to bring these people back to where they belong. And we can do that through our stories, by reminding them, finding the good in people, helping them to remember the good in themselves. I think God wants us to be the kind of people that are His image in this world, that inspires others, and that can lead them back to where they belong.